Alright, good night. In this broadcast, what I'm going to be doing is starting a website from scratch in WordPress, and I'm going to do um, the whole thing. So, this is part one. I'm going to build an entire site from a PSD, and I'm going to show you in a second what I mean. So, I'm loading up this PSD that I got from a design studio, and we're going to go in and build this site from scratch. And I'm going to use the Ithemes platform to do that, and it's going to be super cool. So let's get started with this. Alright, so first thing I do is I'm going to do a WordPress installation, and I'm going to do it from scratch. I don't like to do WordPress installations just like that, so I'm going to go and download fresh WordPress.org. Right, so I'm gonna get the latest version, and as you can see, I have downloaded it several times, but now. So I'm gonna go into the C panel for this account. I'm gonna go into File Manager, and I am going to upload what I just got. So I'm gonna find it in my Downloads folder, and I'm gonna upload my WordPress. And there you go, starting. So that's done. Pretty simple. I refresh the file manager, and then I'll unzip it. I'll extract it here. Extract files. Good stuff. Alright. Close. Very good. So now I have my WordPress there. I'm gonna bring it into my root folder. I'm gonna choose them all, and then I'm gonna move it. Alright. Let's see what's happening here. At this page, I'm gonna go in and see what's going on. So public HTML. I don't know what's going on. Let's try it again. Let's choose it all. And files. No, I'm gonna. Oh, I missed there, so I've got to put in public HTML. There you go. So we have already installed the public HTML, but we have to connect to a database first. And I have a special way of making databases. One of the first things that I do is I go into random.org, right? And I keep dandy a good little notepad where I can keep my notes. I usually use Evernote too, but for this case, I'm just gonna use a notepad, right? All right. So I'm gonna go find some passwords for my databases, and I try to make them as long as possible because of security issues. Things that are complex are hard to get hacked. So I bring in all these, put them in my notepad. They're all random numbers from random.org. I got it from the passwords. So then I can start generating usernames and passwords using this. Alright? So let's go back to our C panel for the site. We're going to MySQL databases, and then I'll take a string from here. Let's see. I think for databasing I'll use 7 characters, but I'll use these. So let's see. I think that works. I think if I put in another character, that'll be. I can put in as many as I want. So I'm going to choose a whole string. Control C. Control V, and I'll create my database. And I'm gonna go and write down of what it is, or I'll copy paste it so I know the name. I'm gonna need it to connect to my WordPress later. Alright, so I'm gonna go write it down. Database name. I have my database name there. And I'm gonna go create a user. And I don't like that, so I'm gonna make a random user. Let's see. I try to take strings as long as possible. It's much better for security. I knew it's only 8 characters for the user. So I'll bring my string down to 8 characters. And there it is. So now I know what I have. And I'm going to save it and write it down. And it's going to be the same prefix, which is quest LV. Alright, good. So I have my database user here. And I'm going to take another string for my password. Just in on the notepad. Long, complicated password. Alright. So here we go. Alright, so now that I have those elements, I can finish making my database. And then I'm going to connect my WordPress installation. So I'm going to create my user. I'm going to get my password, which is going to be this one. I'm going to put it in. And now I have a good user. Good new user. You might ask why I do this. It's just for security purposes. It's less likely that you're going to get your site hacked if your database has very complex strings. I mean, anybody can get hacked, but you're less likely to. So it's better to avoid stuff than to react to it, right? So that's why we do these steps. Alright, so now I have a user and I have a database, so I'll go here and add the user to the database. I'll give the user all privileges, and then we're going back. And now I can connect my WordPress and stuff. And for this, I'm going to go into WP config sample, and I'm going to do code edit. Alright, so first of all, I'm going to save it. I'm going to try saving it as, I can't, so I'll just do it like this and rename it later. So I'm going to fill out all my stuff here. First we got database name, so I got my database name right here. I think I forgot my prefix, so I'll put it in here. And make sure that that is the correct database name. It's Q and it ends with a PV, so let's go see. Wrong. Let's go back to my notepad. Yeah, it is. So I'll put it in here. And if not, WordPress will tell us that it's wrong. So I'll get my user. And I'll also get my password. So here we go. Good stuff. Okay, now I'm going to get a salt key for this. I go on Google Salt Key Generator. And it usually comes up fast. There you go. I'll get a salt key here. And then I'll put it in manually. Control C. And then Control V. So now I have a salt key. It's fresh. I'm going to put in a nice long prefix, because WP is very easy to hack. So I'm going to find something in my strings here. So maybe the first one. I'm going to use this one. So Maria. And this is not going to look very appetizing for bots to go and try to hack. So I'm going to save changes. And I have my WP config file almost ready. I have to close this editor. I don't need my random or my salt key. And I'm going to go and rename this WP config to just WP config. Let's do that. Boom. Alright, so now if I go to the domain, which is questlv.com, I should be able to connect to WordPress, but I have an index file there, so I'm gonna get rid of it for now, and it must be this HTML. So I'm gonna do index old so that it doesn't recognize it as a main starting file. I'm gonna refresh, and there you go. So I'm connected to my WordPress now. So I'm gonna do Quest Academy Las Vegas, and then I'll make a nice username, and so we'll do QuestLV, and I'll get a password from my strings. I like this one, so I'm gonna get it. Control V, and always keep notes down on your users and stuff. So let's do my WP admin users, which I'm gonna upload into my Evernote. And there's my password. And we're gonna get the user. Alright. There we go. And then I'm gonna use the email that I have for this account, Quest Academy. I'm gonna fill these things out. And there you go. And I'm gonna make it allowable for search engines. So we got everything there, everything we need. So let's install WordPress. So now we have a nice, secure installation. Alright, save site. I always use LastPass. It's very recommendable for all this stuff. I'm gonna take the install out of here, and I'm gonna save my password right there. So then whenever I come back in, it just loads up automatically, and I don't have to be guessing for my super duper complicated password. So first thing I see when I go into my WordPress dashboard is that we need some updates. So I'm gonna update Akismet, and that is ready to go. I'm gonna erase Hello Dolly, even though it's a good tribute to our friend and starter WordPress, Matt Mowley. So bye, Matt. Thank you for WordPress. You have made our life so much easier. And I'm going to activate my Akismet account. I have an API here somewhere, so I'm going to bring it in from another screen. You can't see it right now, so I'll just bring it in. Let's see. So Akismet is a plugin that helps you avoid comment spam. It's always good to have it. Although I don't know if this site is going to have comments enabled, but let's get started with that. All right. Next thing I do is I'm going to go and get started on putting some security in the site, and there's several steps that I like to use. We're going to be using the Ithemes platform, so I'm going to bring in my Ithemes panel, download Builder, which is the premium theme and framework for Ithemes. So I'm here, and I'm gonna download my Builder. Let's do that. And so I'm just gonna get the Builder, the Builder basic theme, which I can make child themes out of. So you've seen, I've downloaded it many times. So now I know it's in my downloads folder. And first thing, I'm gonna go into themes, and I'm gonna add new theme, and then I'm gonna upload a theme. And I'm gonna choose from my downloads. I'm gonna choose the Builder, and I'm going to install it and reset. So I'm going to return to themes page, And I'm gonna activate. What I need is to make a child theme, right? So I'm gonna name it Quest LV because that's the name of the site. .com. Just Quest LV, and I'll create my child theme. So now we have a nice little child theme. Now we're gonna go to appearance, and before I do anything else, I'm gonna go and take off all themes that I don't need. And let's see if I can do this. Yeah, delete it. Yes. And then I'm gonna go in and delete this. Okay. And I'm gonna go and delete this one. And we're all set with that. This is awesome. We have a clean site ready to go. And let's see what's going on. Right, so now we have a theme. It's a blank theme. This is your builder standard. And we're gonna go into that later. But first, I'm gonna create an under construction page like we had before. So I'm gonna go get a plugin called under construction actually. Under construction. So I'm going to install it. If it's that one or it's this one, always use the one that has stars because it's been used and tested, so you know that it's a good one. I prefer this one because it's very simple. So I'm going to go into settings. And yeah, this is the one that I like. So I'm going to display a custom page using my own HTML. And I already have some HTML that I have over here in index.0. Do you remember that? So I'm going to go into code editor. And I'm going to bring this HTML from, I think it was just this. Just bring in this div. And then we'll see what happens, which brings up an image. I don't know if it's going to bring the image directly or I'm going to have to upload it to Wordpress, but we'll see. So let's see. That's all we should need. And then are we on? So we are on. I'll save changes. Since I'm logged in, I'm going to be able to see the page as it is, right? Logged in users can see it, but if I'm not logged in, I'm going to launch an incognito browser, I'll be able to see that page in theory. Right? So, yes, we are rock and roll. So now this is what somebody that is coming in to visit our page would see right now. And this screen is what we see because we're developing. That's the great thing about under construction. Awesome. So the next step is securing the site. There's several ways that I do this. I like to use a plugin used called Ultimate Security, which takes you through a lot of basics. And then I like to wrap it up with Ithemes Security, which, you know, it's 2 layers. It's great. I've never had problems with it. So I haven't had a site hack since I've done this protocol. So I'm going to do this. And I'm going to add new. And I'm going to find Ultimate Security. Right? So now I have Ultimate Security. And it's right here. Install now. Okay. Activate plugin. Perfect. So now we go and run Ultimate Security. And it's usually under tools. So there you go. And it's going to run and check my security, right? And it's going to tell me exactly here what I have to do. So I have to check for updates, but I have A here. So first thing it tells me is that my config file is located in an unsecure place. So it's very easy to change that. We go to the C panel. And then we go to File Manager. and we go and find our config file, wherever it is, and put it up one level. This type of hosting usually lets us do that. So yeah, we have another level. We have public HTML and we have the home level. So let's do that. Let's change it. We can just press move here and then just take it off, pick off the public HTML and bring it to the home folder. Alright, so there you go. It's not here anymore. We go back, we run the test again, and it's gonna give us, instead of a C, it's gonna give us an A. Alright, so it's better to turn off the file editor for plugins and themes in WordPress admin, which I think is a great idea, because if your client gets in there, they can break your site. So what I do is I usually copy these and I put them in Google. I mean, I don't need to remember how to do all these things if Google can answer it for me. So I'll go and find, usually it's the first, second, third result, and see, it'll give me a line of code there, right? So all you have to do is open your WP config file and paste in the following code. So that'll get rid of that, and that's the solution, and you're done. So I'm gonna go do that. So I'm gonna copy this line and I'm gonna take it to my config file, right? Let's do that. Let's find it again. And remember, we moved it, so it's over here in the home directory. Let's do this. Code editor, edit, and we just need to add that line of code. We usually do it at the end. And if you want to be fancy about it, you can just put a note. So added by developer. And I'll put in here that it's date to make it fancy. So on 7/22/2014, and that's how you make a note. And then I can just paste because I have it in the clipboard. I'll save it, and we are ready to go. So let's go back to our WordPress and our ultimate security checker and run the test again. See what happens. Oh my god, this is awesome. So we got A's for check for updates and check configuration file. So now the next thing is we have a D here, so let's start correcting that. So I get users can see the version of WordPress you're running from the README file. The way to fix that is to simply go and get rid of the README file, and I'll show you where that is. We'll go to the file manager again, and we'll go to our public HTML level, and it's going to be right there. So let's find it, README, let's delete it, and see what happens. So we go back and we run our tests again, and as you can see, we're getting very, very close to the top security level. We're like at 102 out of 115. This is very, very ironclad, but still we can get better. So we are the plugin is telling us that we have the installation script, and it's still available on your WordPress files. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go get rid of that installation script, and I'll tell you exactly where that is. So we'll go to WP admin, and you will find install. So it's going to be these two, install and install helper, right? We're gonna erase them, delete them. They won't hurt anything on your site, and we go back and run the tests and see what happens. Boom! So that disappeared, and we have one more thing. WordPress displays unnecessary error messages on failed logins. So I don't remember exactly how to do that, so I'm gonna type it into Google because I don't need to remember this stuff. Google remembers it for me, right? So I'm gonna go and see what it tells me. So prevent unnecessary info from being displayed. I think that is my answer, right? That was unnecessary error messages. So I think this is close enough. And the solution is to remove login error messages. Simply open your functions PHP file and paste the following code. So you will find the functions PHP file somewhere else, and I'm going to show you where that is. And let's go into our file manager again. And usually your function file is going to be in your themes. So we know what we have is builder quest LB. That is our theme. So we're going to go into functions, code editor. We're going to edit. 10 minutes in. And we're going to add that line of code in our functions file. And I'm going to make it fancy, and I'm going to put my developer notes. Added by developer on July 22nd, 2014. Also, I know that this is not going to be a responsive site, so I'm going to comment this out. Most likely, we're going to make a mobile site. But one of the things that Builder has is that it adapts the theme, no matter how big it is, to your phone screen or your whatever mobile device screen. So it looks pretty good. It's not responsive, but it'll fit. It won't break your site up. It looks actually really good. So the client in this case doesn't want responsive, and we're not giving him responsive. So we're going to save changes, and we're going to go back to our cPanel. We're going to go back to run our security test, right? And so we're going to have that message most likely disappear, and we're getting to B. We're at 108.115. That is freaking secure. So the next thing we do is we find your blog can be hacked by malicious URL requests, and we'll go Google it too, and let's see what Google says. So there it is. Too complicated. Let's find another post. Plugin. Okay, it says block bad queries plugin. So I know that's BBQ. We're gonna load it up. We get it at the plugin repository. Sometimes the plugin will not be recognized. It's a little bug that I have noticed in Ultimate Security Checker. So we're going to search, let's see, search BBQ. I know it's BBQ. Okay, there it is, block bad queries. Install now. And these are all basics that we gotta have up in our site. All right, so we have block bad queries. I'll run my security check again. Let's see what happens. I hope it disappears, and if it doesn't, well, there's a little bug, but I know for peace of mind that I have block bad queries in. Yeah, I knew that. Even though we have it in there, it's not recognized, but that's okay. I think that's as far as we can go here. So the next thing we do is just add Ithemes security. And I'm going to get that from my Ithemes member panel. And I'm going to get, let's find plugins, and I'll do a Control F on the browser and put in security. Secure Ithemes Security Pro. So I'll download it, and we'll just upload it into our plugins. Add new, and then upload, choose file, and I'll take it from my downloads. Here it is, Ithemes Security Pro. I'll install it, activate plugin, and I'm just going to do the basic settings. You can even go deeper, but I think we are good to go. I don't need to back up my site, although it would be a good idea, so it's gonna do it. And then I'll file updates. I'll just click through. So yeah, I'll do one-click secure. That's all I need for now. I mean, I already have like a lot of security with what I already did. So we'll do a little bit of I think there's a lot of little things that you can still do here, but we really don't need to. for the time being. So the last step that I do on my installation is to add Backup Buddy and back this all up in a nice little package to know that I'm good to go. And let's go do that. So we go to our Ithemes security panel, and we're gonna get Backup Buddy, backup. It's just a great plugin. So now we have Backup Buddy, and I'm gonna go bring it up there. So I'm gonna add it up. I'm gonna upload, choose file, and then Backup Buddy. I'll install it. Activate it. And there's one more thing I gotta do, which is my settings. I gotta go and license my plugins. And I'm not gonna tell you the password, of course, but I am going to license. I'm gonna go get my password somewhere in here in another screen. And I'm just gonna put it in there. If you give me a second. So I got my password in there. I'll license my product, and we're good to go. Last thing I do is whenever I do this basic package, I always back it up. So I'm gonna use the basic settings. I'm not gonna do anything yet. This will be in the next series of videos where I make a schedule for my Backup Buddy. So we're gonna and for now I have my save settings, and I'm making my first backup. And I'm gonna download it because I know it's a full secure backup. And I'm going to save it in my site folder so that I can have it just in case I need it. Remember, when you're developing, to keep doing constant backups. You never know when you're going to break the site and you need to go back. So we have Quest Academy, and I'll just put it there. So this is your basic installation, and we're going to finish this video here. In the next video, we're going to do a schedule backup, and we're going to start developing this nice little site here. It's going to look so awesome. It's going to go from this to this. So stay tuned, and we'll do part 2 later on. That's it for part 1. Thank you for watching.